So the topic for this month has been energy, right? We've been talking about energy, and I have some notes here that I would like to share with you. Energy is one of the factors of awakening, which means it's in that family with mindfulness and investigation and joy and other things that we will talk about later on. Energy is really important because the energy, we always have energy. There's some sort of energy present in each one of us right now. And the energy that we have right now is the result of causes and conditions of the past. And the energy that we're having right now will influence the future, right? So moment by moment, we're being influenced by the ups and downs and the movement of our energy. Now, oftentimes we're not really conscious about where our energy levels are. This is normal, right? We are also driven by the default mode network. We're not always in this mindful, conscious state of mind. Sometimes we're in automatic pilot, and our mind may be in all kinds of scary mental landscapes, or our body may be clenching. So part of mindfulness practice is to be able to pause and check in with yourself, check in with ourselves, and become aware of whatever it is that we're doing in the moment with our energy and how to manage it more wisely. Susan talked a couple of weeks ago or last week about the wolves, right? She mentioned this Cherokee story about which wolf are we feeding? Are we feeding the wolf that will lead us into wholesomeness, ease, and well-being? Or are we feeding the wolf that will take us into fearland and tension and suffering? Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, okay. Sorry. So, okay, thank you. Sorry about that. I just got a text message. So in the spirit of mindful living, I invite you to, what I want to share with you today, honestly, something that I teach my clients and students. And it's a simple practice of R.A.I.N. Now, some of you may have heard about R.A.I.N before. Tara Brach made this term quite popular. And it's an acronym that helps us in the practice of checking in with ourselves. So R.A.I.N, R-A-I-N, stands for four things to practice. The first one is to recognize. And this is connected with the factor of mindfulness, of being aware. What's going on? What's going on inside of me? Let's recognize. So you can do this at any moment. I teach my students and clients to at least check in with themselves once a day, but it's really sweet if you can do this 3 times a day. In the morning when you first wake up, sometime around noon, and maybe 2 hours before going to sleep, to balance your energy, to fine-tune it. So let's say it's close to maybe noon for many of us here. Let's say you want to check your energy level right now. So take a moment to take a couple of breaths to just feel your body, your mind. Body, mind, they're all together, but it's useful to split it, the body and the mind. And you check in with the energy of the body. How's the body feeling? Is it tense? Is it relaxed? Is it racing? Just check in with recognize what is present in the body, and then recognize what's present in the mind. Are you hopeful? Are you sad? Are you worried? Are you tired? Are you grateful? And how does that energy feel? And it's a subjective experience, right? You feel your energy. We all know what we're talking about, but it's so personal. So get intimate with the state of your energy, recognize it, which is about being mindful, then accept it. Don't fight with it. Usually if we're feeling peaceful and happy, we don't have a problem with it. But if we're tense, we may not have a problem with it, but it doesn't feel comfortable. So we naturally would want to move away from it. We're beings that are wired to feel peace and ease and happiness and relaxation. So it's natural to want to get away from that, to the point where sometimes we don't even want to acknowledge that there may be an unpleasant energy. So the key here is to recognize and then accept. Accept what what is without judgment, which is also part of mindfulness, and this mindfulness posture of caring wise attention. So you recognize what's going on, you accept what's going on, and from that point, you can really investigate and get curious. Once you identify how your energy is at any given moment, and you can use, a scale of 1 to 10. How's my energy? Is it balanced? Is it like closer to 1? I don't want to engage with the world. I just want to stay in my room and not face this world on fire. Am I hyper and just doing all kinds of things and not even pausing? Like, where am I? Just get curious, investigate, and investigate what led you to feel that way. What led you to feel that way? So in the process of understanding yourself, you can start recognizing, well, what have I been doing? Bill often says, what has the mind been up to? And that's a good question. What has my mind been up to? Have I been feeding the wolf that feeds off energy, of fear? Have I maybe watching the news too much or replaying a movie in my mind of something that happened? And now I'm just tensing up and worrying. If that's been the case, you're human, don't judge yourself. But just recognize that and move in the direction of balancing. So recognize, accept, investigate how you got there, and then nurture. Nurture is the fourth part of this practice. And nurture is about giving ourselves kindness and taking action so that we can balance that energy, and ground again and breathe. And this is where we ask ourselves, well, what do I need? How would I like to feel right now? If we are feeling, for example, fearful and worrisome, and I'm sharing that just simply because I myself had to struggle with that lately. Some of you know that I live in Asheville, North Carolina, where Hurricane Helene hit us hard. And I'm not going to lie, it's hard. And I've been through 3 hurricanes, so my anxiety got triggered. And oftentimes I would wake up this past month, I would just wake up tense and being like scared. It was like, okay, I recognize it. I accept it. I'm not going to judge myself. Yes, I'm a therapist and I know about mindfulness, but of course I'm human and I went through a very traumatic event. So it's understandable. But how am I contributing to my own tension? And if I investigate and get curious and I looked at my mental patterns, I could identify that I was just overthinking. What if another hurricane comes to Asheville? Should I move again? I moved from Puerto Rico to Asheville to avoid hurricanes. Maybe I should go. And what if the. And the moment you realize that is, okay, overthinking and totally way out of the present moment into the future, worst case scenario. So let me pause. Now that I investigated and I know my own thinking took me there, how can I unwind and nurture myself? Well, what has helped me, and I'm sharing this because in conversations with some of you, I know that Mother Nature is the source of nurturing for many of us. Yes, she's powerful and fierce and brings hurricanes, but she's also beautiful and there's birds and trees and wonderful things outside. So one of the practices that I have been doing to nurture myself is to go outside to my garden, my backyard. Thankfully, no trees fell over my house. My house is fine. So it's this safe place. It's a holding environment to be at home. I'm staying a lot at home because it's very peaceful. And I go into the garden to breathe because that's nourishing, to notice what's beautiful around, to stretch and unwind, to shake it loose, to hug a tree, to throw a ball to my dog. And that helps me to get out of my mind. Because when the mind is causing trouble, when the mind is the one that's feeding the wolf that is worried, we just need to give it a break. And what I learned from Susan, and I thank her so much for this, is that there's things I'm not going to work out by thinking. Right? And maybe as a therapist, I think I can reframe and look at it from this way and look at it from that way. And sure, that can help it to a certain point. At some point, it's just get out and walk or dance, right? And so dancing is one of my favorite practices. And I would like you to think about what are some of the physical practices that get you out of a worrying mind, that get you out of your mind and into the moment, into the senses. Is it painting? Is it playing an instrument? Is it baking? Is it cooking? Is it dancing? It's going to involve some movement, because as we move the body, the energy of the body helps us to move the stress that is trapped in there due to those worrisome thoughts and the hard things that do happen in a world on fire. And returning here to our daily sit, for sure sitting helps us. That's why you are here, because there's something about sitting that nourishes you, right? So take an inventory. My invitation to you, and I hope that this is the takeaway, is I invite you to pause daily, to check in with yourself, to check in with your energy, and balance it as needed. And take a moment to think, you have so many resources. It's about remembering what you already know. What nourishes you? What helps you calm down and balance your energy? Take a moment to think about that. And I want to read a particular quote. It's like a little poem by Rumi. Jay mentioned Rumi. I love Rumi too. This one is for Rumi's 4 essential practices. My friend, it is time for Sema. Sema is that ecstatic dance. My friend, it is time for Sema. Time to get up and jump. You've been asleep on a boat for 1,000 nights. Open your sail and get up and jump. The heavy feeling in your head made you sleep a long time, but they woke you up. So get up and jump. All flying thoughts keep flying, but keep jumping right through this bewildered body. The thoughts will keep rolling, they will keep moving. And we can always take a mindful break to stretch, breathe, gather ourselves, collect an energy, and move in the direction of the wholesome wolf, of gratitude, of being here now. So with that, let's transition into our meditation. Thank you for your kind attention. So as we transition into our meditation here, I invite you to move as much as you need to, or as little. Don't harm yourself, but if it feels like you just want to move and shake it loose, please do so. Let the body crack, stretch, move this body. Accept Rumi's invitation to move the body. Move the body. And when you're ready, find a comfortable posture. You can be standing, you can be sitting down. And as you sit or choose your posture, just check in with your body. Give it what it needs to feel balanced. Give it the support that it needs. Maybe a little bit of a cushioning of the knees or whatever feels right for you today. And just feel the energy of this moment. Maybe before closing your eyes, if you want to close them, just check in with the screen, with this beautiful Sangha, with our collective energy. Taking a moment to feel gratitude for this opportunity that we have to come together in peace, to sit and meditate, watch our breaths, calm our nervous systems together. Let that energy warm your heart. If there's still anything in the body that wants to be adjusted, please move it. And throughout the meditation, if movement is needed, you can certainly move and stretch as long as you do it mindfully and with awareness. So now I invite you, if you want to close your eyes or just look down, and start to take some conscious breaths and feel the energy of the breath coming in and out. This basic energy of aliveness. The body breathing, the heart beating, the organism being alive. Softening whatever needs to be softened, maybe your jaw or neck. If there's some pent up energy inside of you, you can just take a couple of deeper breaths with longer exhalations. That usually calms the energy to take this longer exhalations. And if your energy is kind of low and you're sleepy and you want to raise it, you can just keep your eyes open so that the light can stimulate you and wake you up a little bit more. And once you find that sweet spot, get curious about your breath, about being in your body breathing. And let's enjoy our time together as we practice mindfulness. But just softening a little more, allowing the breath to be the main thing that you're aware of. Tapping into that energy of breathing, into the mystery of being in a human body, breathing here and now. Relax the belly, allow the breath to take as much space as it wants to take. And like Bill says, hop on to take a ride with the breath. Feel the breath in your body and allow that to calm your nervous system. And remembering to soften and allow and welcome it all, allowing the breath to soothe you, relaxing into the breath, and diving deeper into that inner experience of being in a body breathing. Perhaps sensing the energy of the different parts of the body, the heart, the energy of being alive itself. And in this last minutes of our meditation together, just letting go of any instructions, simply check in with where you are right now. Notice if our time meditating together did something to your energy levels. Hopefully, it was wholesome and nurturing. One way to start emerging of this meditative states before we even hear the bell is to simply gently open our eyes if we have them closed and start taking in the colors, the things, the objects, the things that our senses can perceive wherever we are. And I invite you to do this today in the spirit of checking in what things may uplift you. What things can you see around in your physical holding environment? It can always be a source of balancing energy or reminding you to check in with yourself. Thank you all for your kind attention.